Oops. Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast, episode number 169. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you are not a member of our Facebook group, you should be, because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts. I'd like to remind you that the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is not censored, so listen at your own risk. Lift Heavy Run Long has an app, and we want you to be on it. For $3.99 per month, you can be part of that app, and what you will get with that is access to the greatest endurance trainer in the world, Ms. Valerie Hunt of RunRx.fit, and she will deliver to your calendar 3 days a week, 3 bodyweight exercises, 4 days a week, 4 barbell strength exercises, and 4 daily WODs. For $9.99 a month, you can have access to all the programs that Lift Heavy Run Long has to offer, everything from 5K programs to 100-mile programs to triathlons to Spartan races. Go to www.liftheavyrunlong.com, click on the Sign Up Now button. Check out our programs. If you like any of them, enter your email address, and we'll give you a free week on the app. If you or someone you know does not have $3.99 per month, but you think that fitness would enhance the quality of your life or their life, email me at wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. You're more than welcome to use the app free of charge. I have sitting next to my right the wonderful, amazing, attractive, and intelligent Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, never better. Tell me about yourself. What are you doing at this moment?
I'm ordering my protein powder.
Okay, that's good.
TrueNutrition.com. You can mix and make your own concoctions. Yeah,
you really
can make them strong or less strong.
A lot of stuff.
Different types of proteins. You can put carbs and fats in it. I like it.
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want.
Sitting to her right, we have, the people out there aren't going to believe this. We have Big Thirsty Brian Swanson. His agent has finally come to an agreement with our management that he will wear pants on the podcast. So we have moved him from behind the camera to a spot on the couch.
I might have to get up and adjust a couple of times because I'm not used to wearing pants this long.
You'll need to change pants in between, wardrobe change. We'll call timeout. You get two timeouts per episode. Are you doing well?
Life's busy, but it's all good stuff.
Could be weller, could be worse.
Could be worse.
Weller.
Yeah. Not your wellest, but not your worstest.
I am more on the well side than the worst side.
Yeah. You know what makes me well? Being here with the Reverend
Here I am.
Von Rawls.
Boy, I am tired.
He is tired, but you look comfortable over there in your little Arctic corner.
I'm going to try not to go to sleep.
You might be a little too warm.
I got up at 3 o'clock this morning to go to the gym
Oh, did you?
so that I could work out before coaching class.
Somebody's thumping
5 a.m.
something that's making me crazy. Just so you know. I just need y'all to know.
Is it me?
I meant the other one.
You got up at 3 o'clock in the morning
Blame it
because
on
you're
me.
starting 13 weeks to Sillamore, correct?
That's correct.
Good for you.
That is correct.
I thought about you today and was wondering what you were going to get into.
Is that a training program?
It sounds like
It
it.
sounds like oddly similar to the LHRL training app.
For $9.99 per month, you can have access to your 13-week.
That's right.
Exact same workout that the Reverend.
You
can.
You could do exactly the same thing. Who
For
wouldn't
$10
want to do
a
that?
month. Wow.
Yeah. So
Man.
I'm going to run tomorrow. I went to the gym today, and I'm going to run. I'm going to the track in the morning. So,
What kind of run training you looking at? Interval type stuff?
yep. Right. This week is the first week is testing, right? So we'll run tomorrow. I'll run all the things like 400s, 200s, 400s, 800s, I think, to test times, and then a little bit longer the second day, and then I get to pick this weekend. I get to pick a 5K, 2-miler, 5K, or 10K, and I'm going to pick the 10K.
Are you going to just run that on your own, or are you going to run it in a race somewhere?
I'm going to run it on my own. Yes.
Well, good. Well, as anyone that's watching this can see, Vaughn is bundled up in his winter attire. I am in short sleeves. We have sort of a yin yang of climate control going on in here
We have a fireplace,
because we have our virtual fireplace,
but we can't turn it on.
But I won't allow it to be turned on because it makes too much noise. There is an argument that it makes zero noise. However, I am so anal retentive that I'm scared that maybe it would.
He's
make
so
noise.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
It's for you guys.
He's like that.
For you, the listeners, to have a better audio experience
That's right.
that we suffer through no AC and no heat.
If our content is going to be garbage, our audio quality needs to be top notch. And so we're going to make up for that.
He's going to make us come here on Christmas Eve and do a podcast in the cold.
And yell at you the whole time about what you're not about what you're not doing right. Sit down.
Quit thumping on the microphone.
Take your foot off my desk.
But sir, I just want to go home with my family on Christmas.
One more hour. You got 50 minutes.
So what you should do right now is you should flip that thing on for like 30 seconds.
That's a good idea.
Have people report back to us whether they can actually hear it. I'm not even worried about Facebook Live.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, man, now I hear it.
I hear that.
Okay.
I do too.
I think that's my microphone then.
All right. Do y'all want to apologize at the same time?
Well, it went
or do y'all
away
wanna do
after it
throughout
did
the
it.
week?
It went tap, 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 and it stopped.
You can put it in a text message or
Please
email.
forgive us, sir.
Or write it. That was a good call. Guess what we have going on this weekend is Crystal's One More 24 Sober Fun Run. Came up quick, November 23rd and 24th in Springfield, Missouri.
Looking forward to it.
You're on your way.
I am. I have loaded up the LHRL tent, so we will have presents there. Don't know how much running I'm going to do. I got to see.
It doesn't matter.
Age group.
Doesn't matter.
I may do 1 mile just to win my age group, but I got my beanie last weekend.
That's what you need to do is scope it out. And then worst case, you just get drunk all weekend. That is Sober Fun
That would
Run.
be a great race for me.
24.
At a sober
The
race.
sober one more 24 sober run.
We're going to get the word out.
Brian
One way or
brings a
another.
keg
Look,
with
that-
him to the
Big Thirsty shows
Ass.
up at the wrong place, doesn't run, gets drunk,
Oh.
yells at everybody. That's going to be a great time. I have to work this weekend.
It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
It is my youngest.
But I'm tired too,
birthday.
man.
We have a birthday party Saturday morning
Aha.
for my little one. We're going roller skating.
How old is Murphy going to be?
7.
7. Can I send a super shout out to your wife?
You can.
Does she watch this trash? She has
She
better
does
things to do.
sometimes.
Sometimes it depends. I think she might be out at dinner with the neighbors, but I'm not 100%.
Does she ever get on Facebook and watch it?
I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes they watch when I leave. Jackson and her will turn it on.
Well, I had to go get my handgun permit renewed today.
Oh, yeah.
And I went up to Scott Hollis's office unannounced. I didn't even have the decency to call ahead of time and interrupt their place of business to see if someone would be there and would be willing to notarize my papers. As if the world is just going to stop for me to have my stuff notarized.
Right.
And she did. She stopped her world and notarized 3 different pages.
Oh, awesome.
Finding a notary is a pain in the ass.
Not for me, because my wife is one.
That is so great.
I mean, either the hospital has one.
Anybody in the LHRL world that needs a notary?
So apparently I'm the only person who has a problem with the notary in this room anyway. Do you have a notary on hand?
Not as on hand as he does, but I know at least 2 now.
Now you do.
I did. I've got a good friend that's a notary that always takes care of me whenever I need to.
At one point in time, I was going to become a notary. But
Don't
We've had this discussion.
you have to have a clean record to be a
that's
notary?
correct. That's
Okay.
why I'm not a
Do
notary.
you really? Do they do a background check?
Yes, they do.
Clean
I didn't know that.
never a felony or like.
This was just DUI stuff.
Well, have you ever had to take one of those field trip background checks to go with your kids on a field trip?
I don't know.
Have you not?
Oh, wow. I've never heard of that.
Well, I had to at Pleasant Hill for Jackson.
Wow.
Huh. I feel like that I would have had to coach his kindergarten basketball team at Central Day School, right?
I don't know.
It seems like I remember worrying about that.
I just assumed that everybody had to do that.
I think I did. So I came back clean enough. I mean, it's not like I have.
They were
it's not
desperate
like
for
I'm,
coaches.
I'm on my third strike or something. They were
Right.
desperate for coaches.
I think the most intensive background check I ever went through was, didn't we have to go through a background check for our DC trip?
I don't know. I had a security clearance at CTI, so I went through the entire.
I went through a security clearance thing. I thought I had to do it for CTI also.
It may have been.
For another consulting project I did, I had to go through the secret clearance stuff because I did some work for Federal Reserve.
Yeah, I did the top secret clearance, and they interviewed my neighbors. They interviewed
That's kind of crazy.
all kinds of.
You ever, even knowing,
Oh my gosh, I don't have your microphone recording, Swanson. God dang.
people at home even hear me?
No.
No.
So all they've been hearing so far is hearing me through your microphone.
And probably me and Vaughn, maybe.
Good thing my voice.
So I had to go through strenuous background checks for my occupation to be in school for that as well. And then after I got out of school for the hospital work and to give out drugs.
Yeah.
Check. I can't hear anything.
Have to be fingerprinted at the
There we go.
police
All right.
department and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Thank you, sir. Hey, can everybody hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Steve said, yes, we hear you, Swanson. He said he could before he
I have
plugged me
to
out.
give a shout out to Amanda Drogmiller and Landon and Braden. They said, "Hi, Miss Amanda."
Hey,
Hi,
Amanda
guys.
Drogmiller. They seem to be doing well in Alabama.
Yeah.
They enjoying that?
Yeah, they're doing life really well down there.
Good. Looks like it. Chris's fence company looks like it's taken off, doing well.
Yep. Amanda and I were running a half marathon in January.
Aha.
Where are you doing that
together.
at?
Birmingham, I think, is where it
Okay.
is. Somewhere down there.
I think they still do a race. So I am not actively oh my gosh, I got to finish it. But I've started putting the idea that I'm going to do 50 marathons in 50 states. And I bring this up because you mentioned Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And there is at least a half marathon. I think there's a full marathon that finishes on Talladega's race course or whatever on the
Track.
on the track. I think that would be cool.
Okay.
Nobody else cares, but
Yeah.
You would have to
this
go
guy.
to Alaska and run and
run a marathon there and DC
Hawaii.
and Hawaii.
I'll go. Yeah,
Is
call
that
me when
it?
you go
That's
to Hawaii.
included in the 50, right?
how many stars are on that flag?
Yeah, call me when you go to Hawaii.
For a second there, I couldn't remember if we had 52
So-
states and that did not include Hawaii and Alaska, or if we had 48 and that made 50.
Lynn and I looked at Hawaii at one point, and there's no exaggeration. I think there is literally a marathon on one of the islands almost every single month of the year.
Yeah, I had a friend that lived out there, and I know she did the Honolulu Marathon. So
So yeah, I think
Yeah. I think they do have quite a few, and they have Ragnar's out there as well.
that would be awesome,
So-
taking a team out there doing that.
I've looked into that a little bit.
They have a big Iron Man too, I think, don't they?
Did you guys see? Speaking of Iron Man, did you see the hint that
Yeah,
the Iron Man
Someone mentioned
website
that.
April Hilson.
posted on? Yeah, they put a pixelated picture on, and it looks like the Memphis sign on Mud Island. It's a pixelated version, and it said something like "anything can happen" or something like that.
No,
Is
it
the-
can't.
And it had
is what
like
You don't think it's going to happen?
No.
it had like
why are you-
emojis.
Why are you so negative?
Where would they swim?
That's what I asked April. I was like, they would not put those people in the Mississippi.
No.
I've seen drunk people do it.
Yeah, it's stuck
Somebody
under.
actually told me that the Shelby Farms
So
Lake is
that's what
big
she
enough.
said. That's
They're
what
not
April
going to
said.
do an Iron Man at the Shelby Farms.
Okay, Mr. Negativity. I'm supposed to be the dream
It's
crusher, not
it's like
you.
a 2-mile swim.
Yeah, really. See, you've rubbed off. That's what happens. They say that you are your 7 best friends, and Vaughn has become your one.
Maybe I need to go back behind the camera. I'm too close. My aura is rubbing off on him.
No, man, I'm loving you being right here. This is working well. I like this.
Hey, Vaughn, did you see my iPad cover?
I did see that. That's
Isn't that
pretty
cool?
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Brian didn't make it on there, but I did.
Sorry, Brian. This was before you.
I'm not really on there either. Those aren't even me. Those are 50 pounds lighter me.
Oh boy.
There's some old pics.
Seriously, don't people hate swimming in the Shelby Farms lake because
They do triathlons there
like
every
the
year.
goose poop or whatever?
They do triathlons there every year already.
They do?
Yeah, Annie Oakley, Buffalo
do a
Bill
2-mile
tried.
swim in there.
Well, where's
It's not an
the
Ironman.
Memphis and May one? That's in Millington.
That's in Millington.
They can't do it there.
No, that lake is tiny. Well, I say it's tiny.
Loch Ness Monster will come get him.
I don't know. You know what? Who knows if it's going to happen? And we don't have to be smart enough to
I'm
decide where
sorry.
it's going to happen at.
I'm cold now.
We don't have to be smart enough to decide where it's going to be because the Ironman people will figure that out if they're coming to Memphis.
Right.
But we had a pretty strong showing when they came to kind of look at Memphis and stuff like that. And then they later announced that we weren't one of the winning cities, but I'm pretty convinced that
But now they're pixelating pictures.
now they're pixelating pictures.
And now we've just lost half of our viewership because I slammed.
Ironman.
Ironman.
Because we have so many strongman triathletes. that,
Right.
Strongman triathletes. Iron-
What? Wait.
Oh man.
Okay.
What's all this knocking around?
Leave me alone. I'm
y'all
fixing
are bothering the hell
stuff.
out of me with all your. I'm trying to produce quality audio.
might as well turn the
And y'all are
heater
over
on.
I
on
know.
Help
I'm
wrestling.
proving a point. If you turn the
Golly.
heater on, I wouldn't have to put the jacket on. I wouldn't have to mess with my microphone.
Holy moly!
And this is smoky.
It's good for the
and it smells
people to
like
see.
coffee.
It's good for the people to see what I deal with. Maybe they're gonna.
the tough
Maybe
life you
I'll be
live.
appreciated. It smells like what?
Smoke and coffee, where I dumped my coffee on your jacket the other day at the campfire.
She's complaining about her coffee being on my jacket.
Boy.
And it definitely smells
Oh,
like
that's right.
cookout. Because we had the North Mississippi Endurance cookout this weekend.
And Smoke-a-thon.
And it went wonderfully.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
guys
well, a
like
lot
a
better
big
than I
time?
thought it was going to be.
Yep.
I hate that I didn't make it. This was also Rhodes' homecoming weekend and my girlfriend's 15th college reunion weekend, so we had all the parties and stuff to go to.
Sean Hillsden went full out MacGyver. He built a legit volleyball net, a volleyball net that the kids were jumping through. They strapped like this soccer ball thing to it, and the kids were jumping through the hole of it, like really putting a lot of tension on this volleyball net. And he didn't even have the poles in the ground. He had them on winches and 3 cables attached. Wham.
Well, he's an engineer, so I mean,
It's kind of his job to be able to MacGyver shit.
All engineers should know how to do that.
well,
you
I've
think?
learned that that was awesome.
But
we were spiking.
But he's
everything
also a
on
Boy
that.
Scout, so like
Eagle Scout.
one side of the Eagle Scout even one side to the other is going to take care of being able to
You're right.
always be prepared.
Either way is pretty badass. His volleyball skills were not as badass as his volleyball putting up skills. Amanda was placed 3rd in state when she was in high school. And so every time we rotated, her serve came to where Sean was in the same corner.
I figured out that Sean couldn't return my serve, so I just aimed it towards him every time.
I mean, we're talking about like 15 and 20 serves in a row. And you know how Sean is such a good sport. He was laughing at himself and we're all laughing at him. And he was just determined to hit the ball back over. And
Just one time.
Just one time. Yep. It was fun, man. We must have played volleyball for, I don't know,
3 hours.
18 hours. 3. It was a long
time.
It's
It
probably
had
like
to have been
20
longer
minutes.
than 3.
It's
Probably
fun.
like 20 minutes.
I couldn't barely get out of bed. the
yeah. He
next
got up
day.
the next morning. It's like, oh my
But
god.
I can't hardly get out of bed regardless. I have
awesome.
all these old man things coming in my way. The other day, I don't wear a jacket. By default, I don't wear a jacket because if I go somewhere and I take my jacket off, I'm going to forget my
You're
jacket.
gonna leave it.
So I just don't wear one. And the other night, I was coming out to the shop to get stuff for the cookout, and I caught myself like getting a jacket to go to the shop refrigerator and back.
Oh, wow.
Like an old person. Old people do that. Like they have Shaws and stuff like that.
We need some L.A. Charles Shaws.
It was.
Shaw.
And then I found myself pricing a chair, an office chair. So I'm like researching. I told Amanda I've never researched.
You're about to, you have already embarked on a sedentary career.
Yeah.
So you need a quality office chair.
I told him, I was like, you need to really look into it, read on it, investigate, because my dad.
It's kind of one of those things like, and
Dad
don't be
dropped
afraid
a lot of money
don't
on
be
it.
afraid to spend the money on it because your butt's going to be in it a lot.
Well, they're not cheap. Damn. Well, you can get cheap ones.
Yeah.
But you can tell that what's cheap and what's not. So I
So
had
you
to
were
research
searching
it.
like big boy chairs and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, 250 plus. I'm putting that in two.
What you need to do is get one of those like
chairs.
full gamer rigs, that you
Yeah,
can like
tilt back.
completely lean back, and your monitors go up with you.
For $6,000, you can get one of those, and they look enticing. But I went with the old Herman Miller. Seemed tried and true. Have different sizes for big guys.
What's that called? The Aero chair?
The Arrow. That's exactly right.
Yeah, man.
Are those pretty good?
Those are so nice.
Okay. Well, they got a bunch of levers.
Oh my God, y'all are talking about chairs. Okay.
I've spent
It's happened.
I've spent a lot of time in an Aero chair and never regretted a minute of it.
Really.
Seriously, like they're good.
Well, something's got to give. Sitting on that couch recliner ain't going to cut it.
Well, I hate
Standing
my
up
chair
is
at
an
work.
option.
Yeah, it is.
Standing up, you can't do that. It's bad
Okay.
for me.
I can't have a standing desk. The way I have shelves like right over my thing, and I hate my chair. Our chairs, for some reason, even lowered all the way as low as it'll go, my feet dangle,
Oh wow.
and so there's like a circle rim that I have to prop my feet. Like, so I tuck
Yeah.
my feet under my chair so I can put my feet on something, and I don't have my little elbow things either. I don't like that either. So that's
She
I'm
lives a tough
complaining
life.
about my chair.
You got to have the armrest.
I like the armrest.
Yeah, I
so.
paid extra for the armrest. That because some of them I was like, oh, this chair is much cheaper. It's the same model. Then I find out they were trying to sneak 2 armrests past me.
Right.
So they do that. Yeah, that's one of the things you learn when you're shopping for chairs. So Vaughn, when you get ready, you talk to me first
Okay,
because
I will.
there's different things you need to watch out for.
When I get as old as you.
I don't do standing down. When I'm standing up, I am perpetually thinking about sitting down. I'm not kidding you. When I'm up, I want to be down. And if I'm going to get on the floor, I have to look around to make sure there's something I can grab to get back up.
That's the Boy Scout in you, always being prepared.
Right. Me and Sean are basically same.
Yes, exactly.
Peter Mellon's going to be on the show next week.
All right.
That's pretty exciting.
He's got a surprise. He's going to bring something to give away,
Okay.
assuming that someone will leave a review and
Okay.
mention the giveaway
Okay, good. I was
item.
afraid of free entry to what you call it.
Well, I didn't say what it was or what it wasn't, and I didn't say he wasn't bringing 2 things. He
Well, we know
said that
that-
he would roll out a red carpet throughout the whole trail for you.
Who is Peter Mellon?
He is the gentleman that's putting on that has taken over the
He's the
Stanky
new race
Creek,
director.
the new race director for Stanky Creek.
Which is called the Fortitude 50 or something like
That's
that.
right.
And what's the distance on that race?
There's 50K, but I think he's having multiple distances.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to a point where they had a half marathon, a 25K, a 50K, a 50 mile, a 40 miler, a 50 miler.
Fortitude
At one
50K,
time,
25K
when it
is what the Facebook group is called, or the event is called.
Peter Mellon is a good guy. Like he is in this for the sake of community, and he believes in community, and he's doing this for that reason.
And he's turned it into a St. Jude fundraiser, which
His
I'm all
daughter
about.
is part of St. Jude, and was actually we talked about
patient,
it
wasn't
last
she?
week.
Yeah.
She is a patient. She's a patient now. I don't know what her current status is, but I believe that she's in St. Jude now. And she was on the Domino's Pizza Box as one of the models for
nice.
their whatever St. Jude week.
Why hasn't Domino's ever called us?
I don't know. Nobody's called me to model anything. I've been doing this long enough.
I'm gonna have to get
170
Jackson.
episodes.
We know how to eat some pizza.
That's right.
That guy that lives here in DeSoto County
There's a bunch of guys.
owns all the Domino's in the area.
Yeah.
And he's got the most ginormous house in
Oh, yeah.
Mississippi or something. His daughter is in Jackson's class at school. So I should get Jackson to say, "Hey, get your dad to come on my dad's podcast and bring some pizza."
Yeah.
Bring some pizza. All right, this is going to be an hour-long episode of y'all watching us eat. We're going to tear
I'd
up
be like,
some
what kind of
Dominoes.
podcast is it? Health and fitness.
So you guys want like a
Sponsored
gluten-free
by
pizza?
Domino's.
No.
Bring the mega meat.
Sponsored by Domino's.
Bunch of garlic sauces. Plenty of garlic sauce. How often do you think that kid has to go home and be like, "Hey, Dad, Mike said to bring a bunch of pizza to the party"?
Probably every day.
Every day.
Well, I just you ever see the movie Blindside about Michael Orr?
Yeah.
Was raised in Memphis. There's a scene in the movie where the mom and dad own a bunch of like Taco Bells and KFCs or something like that, and the kid's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna need some more coupons for Taco Bell," like because he's like making friends that way at school and stuff with them. So I'm sure there's some kind of a thing that he's already got worked out where he doesn't even have to ask for them. He just hands out coupons.
I didn't know that there was a pizzapreneur around here that owned a bunch of Domino's.
Yeah.
Where is
Yeah.
that house?
I can't tell you exactly where it is. It's,
Because he'd have to give
It's
you-
over.
Give me
It's
his
over
address.
close to my back closer towards where I live. But seriously, it is. People could just drive by to go look at it. It's ginormous. Apparently, it's.
Does he have a giant pizza like mowed into the front yard?
He has a big
like a-
pizza like Ferris wheel that runs outside his house.
And it looks
everything
like a
pizza.
pizza Ferris
It's
wheel.
Pizza Palooza.
He's got like pepperonis
And
growing like in his garden.
And all the buckets on the Ferris wheel are pepperonis.
Oh,
So
man.
I haven't been working out or anything for like the last 3 months or so. My foot, I got hurt and all that. And then I just lost all motivation. Then I had like some health problems. And I went to the doctor and my thyroid was all messed up. So I started on thyroid meds. And I'm back into the real world, brain fog gone, everything. And I started back to the gym today. Today was day one.
Day one.
Day one,
I've never touched a trainer bar in my life, and I had a trainer bar with 2 tens on it.
which is badass.
Because you
Because I didn't want to do
you just want-
65-pound
Okay.
thrusters
No,
my
I-
first day back.
Well, that's what I was
zero
thinking.
judgment at all. I was just curious as to what was the driving factor
yeah.
for using
I
training
scaled
bar.
it. I scaled the workout. I ran
Good.
the 400 meters.
But
I
you did the
scaled-
workout.
Well, it
so
wouldn't make
I did
sense
the
for you to
workout.
go in there and just wreck yourself and be off for another
Yeah, I
2
would
weeks.
die.
Well, that's the kind of this cycle that I got myself into is go back to the gym, wreck yourself. You can't do anything for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing this morning. I used an empty barbell and flipped the box over to 20 inches and rode. I did not run. It was freezing cold, and I don't like being cold. So
Yeah, Paul
I
was
just
like,
rode-
I was just
As
going to
all
use the
your
bar, and
athletes
Paul
know
said
well.
that the
Right.
trainer bar with 2 tens on it was like the bar. So he didn't want me bending all the way down to the floor. Because I've never touched a trainer bar, to be quite honest. And I was just like, and it was really hard for me to walk in there and do all that. I had to swallow some pride.
Yeah, you got to put
But
your ego aside. But
I have to give 4 p.m. like props because nobody said a word. Nobody pointed out what I was doing. They were all just excited that they said, "Are you working out with us?" And I said, "Yeah." And they all just said, "All right, yay!" And it was really nice. And so I have to say that our gym community is really great because I was having problems with myself doing that.
Well, good on you for getting back in there.
And that's the only person you're ever going to have problems with, really. But I know what you mean. You just build it up in your head like it's going to be a thing.
but we also did some split squats.
Yeah. Those made my legs shaky. And then running and doing the
How does
box
that work?
step ups.
Where you put your back foot up on a
Oh.
bench and a
And
rear
then
foot
you
elevated
take your
split
weights
squat.
and
And
squat down.
So I grabbed a pair of 25-pound dumbbells. Like, yeah.
I did 20s.
I was like struggling through 8 and went through another set of 8. And I was like, oh, okay, this isn't going to work. And then, so I went to 15. And then I went to 10. And then I went to just none.
That's plenty, though,
That's
man.
how
That
a lot of
one-legged
people-
stuff is.
Oh, it's
Will kill
ridiculous.
you.
That's how a lot of people at the gym did it. I had 20s and it was a struggle bus getting through those, but I made it through. But yeah, then after I got done, I was like, well, crap. Now I made my legs all wobbly for the run and the box jump. So I did box step up so I wouldn't shin myself.
Well, that's why I did the empty barbell, because I was like, after doing those
Yeah.
split squats, then we go do a bunch of thrusters. I won't be able to walk tomorrow, and I have to go run. So
Yep.
Active recovery.
So I came home and got on the treadmill and walked 2 miles just to kind of walk all that out a little bit. So we'll see how my legs do tomorrow. But I'm trying to get back into shape. Gained a lot of weight while I was down and out. So starting all over.
I know what that's all about, but you're not starting all over. I mean, you're still a fit person. You're not as fit
funny.
as you.
And
like
I know we've talked about this on the podcast before, but Amanda and I've had that conversation recently at a race where it's like, even where we're starting over is so much better than where we really started from.
As our discussion as we run a half marathon.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Still, yeah. Anyway, so it was kind of
Good
hard.
on you for getting in there.
Proud
It's
of you.
Hard. It was hard for me, but it was obviously hard on me and not on anybody else. So.
Well, but you're a changed person. She went to go see a doctor, and like you said, that thyroid and getting levels and getting things checked out. I mean, she sleeps better. She wakes up better.
I wake up in a good mood.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
nuts.
I wish
It's crazy.
Yeah, my
It's
regular
awesome.
doctor, it's like all my blood work came back normal, and so I heard about this other doctor, and he's hard to get into. Got into him,
maybe that's what I need to do.
went and
'cause
saw him, and he's like, "Yeah, your labs are normal, but if you do this calculation, whatever, you're off, big time. Your thyroid's not working right." And he's like, "Here, start these." Da da da. And day 3, I woke up and it was like, "Holy cow! I can actually get out of bed and not crawl out of bed and
So did you have an overactive or an underactive?
under."
Yeah, see, that's where I'm at. I've always had an underactive thyroid, but the way they check for that thyroid stimulating hormone, and I can't remember what the number is. Let's just say that the number is supposed to be below 5. Mine's always like 4.95 or 4.99, and so they've never wanted to prescribe anything for me.
Yeah, he's more about just not treating the numbers, but the symptoms too, which I appreciate. And he did all kinds of tests I never even heard of or seen before. And he sat down with me, and for 3.5 hours, he went over every single number on every single paper of a test that he did. So I'm grateful
That's awesome.
for him. And he fixed the thyroid, and then my testosterone was less than 3, which is basically 0. So he's working on that right now, and then I've got a couple more things he's gonna fix after
That's amazing.
he fixes that. So
He has been amazing. I mean, it's really something to sit on the sidelines and watch this
Yeah,
guy.
as a bystander, of her life or whatever, it's got to be interesting for you
It's
to
great.
see the changes that
Yeah,
are
it's
affected
wonderful.
by the medicine.
And she was telling he just took so many panels. He took so many numbers, and a lot of the points that he was making was, yes, this number is normal, but if you take the numbers that supply that number, there's imbalances here. Yeah, you can take, the average of 1 in 10 and get 5, but
Right,
when
but
you
one of them shouldn't be
when you take 12 numbers and look at it, these things are off. So this needs to come up, this needs to come down, and just putting in a lot more effort. Which I understand doctors have a limited amount of time and limited amount of resources and money they can play with, but
yeah, so he's built his own practice just for that. He worked at
What type of doctor is he?
he's a MD. He's an internal med.
Internist. Okay, that's the answer I was looking for.
But he worked at the Med forever, and he's worked with Baptist and ran an ER for a while, and then he got tired of the politics. So he went and opened his own practice, and he doesn't believe in insurance companies and them telling him what to do, so he does not take insurance.
Oh,
Yep. That's the
not
only thing.
inexpensive.
No.
But
But it's
what
worth
will
it
you
for
pay
me.
to feel better?
fair enough.
Which has been something that we've talked about, because I wouldn't put a price on that. You couldn't there is not a price that you couldn't put on me feeling a little bit better or me getting a little bit more rest, and I think that's because I've been so in the gutter emotionally and so depressed that I know what that feels like to feel bad. And if I can feel a little bit better, based on a level or by taking something that's not like
So he's half holistic and half modern medicine. And so he studies kind of, ancient Chinese medicine, everything. And so
That's awesome.
Has all kinds of different tests and panels that he does that I'd never seen before in my life. And, he runs all the tests that insurance would have to do prior approval on. And some of that stuff's probably not even covered by insurance anyway. And
Insurance sucks.
so he looked, when I sat down with him to meet with him for the first time, he had never seen me in his life because I had to come in 2 times before I even met with him to go through all these different tests that I had to do and draw the blood, and he had to get all the results. And he sat down in front of me and he fanned out all the papers with all the results and numbers on it. He circled a number and he goes, I can tell you right now, looking at this number from this result, that you wake up every morning feeling like shit. And he goes, you get out of the bed feeling like total crap. And I started crying. I was like, yes, thank God somebody's going to listen to me. And he's like, well, I have many reasons why, and we'll go through all these tests that, all the results, and we'll start working on you. So.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's strange that I sit here and say that I would pay any amount of money to feel better, do anything to feel better, except for I still eat like doo-doo. But I won't change my nutrition. I'll do anything you tell me to do. I'll change your nutrition. No. But I'll do anything else.
Because writing a check is easier than any other effort.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
Right. It really is. And that's what I want is the easy.
But
what we all want.
The thing is like, I mean, and I probably speak for a lot of the people in the community, like the level of fitness that we get, we could be better by having better nutrition, but we're still better than the sedentary with the bad nutrition and that type of thing. Like, I don't know. It could be worse, I guess.
It can certainly be worse, and it has been. So I'm grateful for what I have. Is the CrossFit Open over?
Yeah.
I think so.
Has it been over?
It's been over for a week or so.
All right. That's all where 5 more people got popped for PEDs?
Yeah.
Who was
the
it? I didn't
open?
even.
No, in the games.
I didn't even read who it was. Who was it? Anybody like famous?
I don't know who anybody is, really. I've never kept up with what
Well, the
people-
theory, the conspiracy theory is that they pop all these people that nobody knows who they are. So it looks like they're hard
Testing.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
hard on athletes, but really the people that are high profile, they're never going to pop those guys because
Because those are the people with
right.
promotional
Bring in the
contracts
money,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
In all fairness, if I had a company, I'd do the same thing.
You probably would.
Yep.
In all fairness, if I were an athlete, I would probably take the drugs too.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I'm not.
I wasn't an athlete and I took drugs.
I'm not. I would take them anyway. Right.
Just
right.
whatever. Speaking of, what do you got?
Yeah.
Steve Wilkes says 4 of the 5 who got popped were Podium Masters athletes.
Ah,
Well, they're still masters athletes.
Were what?
They're not-
master.
Podium Masters athletes. So above
Older
40,
athletes that
40
were
or 45,
top.
I guess.
Okay.
First, second, and third.
All right. So they got some pretty. That's up there.
Why are they coming down the old people?
Because those
So
are the
they
people
don't
that
have to
need
com-
the drugs.
I know,
So they don't
right?
have to come down on the younger
On the
people.
young people.
So what is, speaking of fitness, what is your short term fitness goal?
Me?
Yep. 3 months. Like what
To
do
trim
you
back down.
want to happen in 3 months?
I want to trim back down.
Trim back down. Thirsty. 3 months from now, what is Thirsty like? Is he stronger? Does he run farther, faster?
Runs
sorry.
further and faster.
And I want Sillamore to be a comfortable run and not a death run. Mm-hmm. That will help by trimming down.
2020. That's
Trimming
going to be my year for running.
Is it?
It is.
I'm gonna
Really?
I'm gonna get back to it.
Starting when? January
we'll
2nd?
see.
Next week.
We'll see.
2020. January 1st.
That's coming up.
February 15th. 2020.
January
I'll start
1st, I
that
will do
Day
a
after Valentine's Day.
January 1st. I will do
Oh,
a 3-ish mile run. I am supposed to do the Houston Marathon January 17th. I'm signed up for the Sillamore 25K in February. I'm doing the Disney Rival Run weekend, Star Wars Rival Run weekend in April, which is a 10K Saturday, half marathon Sunday. I am running the Devil Dog Double in Washington, D.C. In May, which is crazy.
Yup.
So there's a 5 miler and a half marathon the same morning. You have to run the 5 miler at better than a 10:30 pace to make it back in time to start the half marathon.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, so the 5 miler starts at like 6
Well,
a.m.
you can do that.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I can get trained to the point, but then once the half marathon starts, I can slow to a 16-minute mile and successfully complete the half marathon without getting pulled. So there's that, and then Marine Corps Marathon in October. And I'm sure there'll be other things along the way. I got a couple other things up my sleeve that
All right.
I might be working on.
Well, you're right. It is going to be your year for running.
I mean, I always sign up for a lot of races. It's just whether I actually start training for them. That'll be the difference of 2020.
You'll attend most of them if you sign up.
Oh, I'll show up to the start line of every single. Well, I say I'll show up. I mean, I'm 90% sure at this point that I will show up to the start line of every one of those races.
Reverend, short term. 3 months from now.
3 months. I'd like to claim that 6 hour, sub 6 hour, 50K at Sillamore.
What is your optimal weather running conditions, do you think, to successfully or make it easier to claim that?
40 degrees and
Dry.
And dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
The creek won't be dry.
Well,
I know,
you
but
know.
as long as the trail,
I'm
I mean,
just
if
messing
there's
with
no
And you got to
snow-
go back down to get to the creek again.
You do.
At
with
least
the-
once.
If there's snow and it's muddy, it's just so hard.
Yeah. Well, if it is snow
what
and
is
muddy,
your best
do you-
finish at Sillamore? I'm sorry.
6:03.
6:03. And not even being negative at all, but you're training to get back to faster than that
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
When you ran your 6:03, was it 40 and dry?
Yeah. It was nice.
Man, it's been all kinds of weathers there. I mean,
Yeah, it has.
We've done
You
it
just
with,
never know what you're going to get.
The first
Yes.
time, I'm not lying. The first time I ran it, was like 70 degrees.
I was going to say,
And then Vaughn talked us into it. It
warm.
was snow and ice.
yeah. Did it hit 80 degrees when we were out there one year?
I feel like I've been out there.
I
One
wanna
year
say it was 80
crazy
degrees.
hot. I don't know if it was 80. But
It didn't
was
start at 80,
hot.
but it got up to 80.
And it's been rainy and
2
cold.
years ago, I feel like I wasn't there. It was 2017. I feel
That's
like
when I was
wasn't,
thinking it was.
because Lynn showed up, and I remember her talking about like just feeling like she was going to die because it got so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what temperature it got to, but I just remember a lot of people complaining after.
It was hot
that race.
because I wore a T-shirt and I never. Well, I haven't ever worn a T-shirt to Sillamore before, and I remember wearing a T-shirt that year, and I remember getting really hot in a T-shirt. So that was,
Yeah, it was like sunny, cloudless, and warm.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Anywho,
And it could be snowing. You
Yeah,
never know.
Sillamore, you never know.
Will you have problems getting fat over the holidays?
Fat, I'm not going to have a problem, no.
Anyone else?
fatter.
Is holiday fatness a problem for you?
No, I don't make the best food choices, but generally speaking, I make good portion choices. Now, I may have a lot of portions. Like, I mean, I may eat a lot of things, but my portions are pretty good usually, and there's only a few things that like I can't say no to seconds and thirds on. So I generally do good.
I think with me starting back, I'm a sweet tooth, so that's what I have to be careful with. But if I can just stay away from that, or have like you said, just a small portion, like a couple spoonfuls of something, and just call it quits and not go back or anything, I should be okay. I really do want to lighten up for the run and everything, and trim up. So I mean, I gotta make some sacrifices and do right. So
I learned an important lesson about a week and a half ago going out with Katie. that she's not going to eat as much as she says she is when we order stuff to share.
Uh-oh.
And I feel the need to finish it all.
You need to. That's right. I know.
So,
Well, that's been sort of a problem with me on the reverse end, is that the kids are now getting to where they eat all of their food. And the only
quit being
reason
so stingy. God, stop eating on your own.
the only reason I had kids in the first place was because they don't eat all their food and they get to order it. And so now I just put the dad tax on everything.
There you go.
So before they get
I'm paying for it. So
I
give
just
me
thought
some of
you
your
bought
fries.
extra, so you'd have more when they finish theirs. You'd have extra for them, and then they don't eat it, and then it's yours.
yeah, sure, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's the end result is the same.
I'd hate to think that you're going without.
Yeah, I'm not starving to death. Not yet.
My
Wait
kids-
until they're both teenagers
Well,
and they have a hollow leg.
I was gonna say Grayson is getting to that point because we bought a box of like family size like Pop-Tarts for the kids for this kind of weekend/week, and Grayson ate the whole box in one day.
Oh wow!
So
You may already be there.
I was like, dang it, he's getting to that point.
That was my youngest son, from like 14 until like 23, 24. It was like a bottomless pit. I mean, you just couldn't make enough food, couldn't keep enough food in the house to
Yeah.
keep him satisfied. So
I had a friend of mine, Trey Belcher, and there was always people at his house. And his mom had an oven, like a 2-layer
double oven.
double oven, and the bottom was just filled with Twinkies and oatmeal cream pies and
Oh.
food. Just there's so
In the
much
oven?
food in the oven because it was
They
just
didn't use it
overflow.
as an oven. It was just over. It was like
It was
it was
just-
like a pantry. It
it
was
was
an
just
additional
overflow.
pantry. I thought you were going to
Because
say
they-
like she was constant, like just like a never-ending
They
supply
were
of like pizza
constantly
rolls.
feeding us. They were always feeding us. I'm talking like their grocery bills. You don't think about that when you're, 13.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, their grocery bills every weekend probably spent $200 on kids.
Wow.
If they sent me a bill now for that, it would be in the hundreds of thousands.
With interest.
Probably. Yeah, it would be a lot. I'm still off Facebook, Vaughn, since you recommended getting off the Facebook
Good.
app. Are you still?
I'm still off it on my phone. And so, like I said, I don't have the app on my phone.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm not off Facebook. I don't have the app on my phone.
And I put the Facebook newsfeed eradicator on my Facebook, on my Chrome, so that when I go to Facebook, I just see the notifications and messages if someone has sent me a message.
So you can go to a specific notification if you need to.
I can, but I don't see anybody's posts. It's all blocked out with a motivational quote,
That's awesome.
right? Instead of seeing anything else. So it's all blank. And so that way I don't get trapped in scrolling
Down the rabbit hole.
scrolling down the rabbit hole.
I have to say, I don't really use social media a lot, but I reached out to my Facebook world friends and asked about what makeup, like what foundation everybody uses because I'm not happy. And I was expecting like a disaster and people talking about mixing dirt and water together.
Hey, hon.
I had no
Haven't seen
No
you in
trolling.
20 years, but I got
no
you.
trolling, no terrible comments. Had like a ton of girls tell me like what they used, and lots of them offered like samples or I sell this product. If you want me to talk to you about it, if you need to come over and try this. It was really nice and very nice to know that.
Now
there's
she's got 13 parties
truly
lined up
Right.
for MLM programs that her friends are a part of.
No,
But it was really nice for people to be like legit.
I think I
'cause
hear the,
was-
the truck
You're a-
backing up now.
I think you're a
We're just going
perfect
to
fit.
store it here for a little while.
You're a perfect fit for my company.
Yep.
I was
I'm an
expecting
entrepreneur.
like Mark Fortune to make a comment or something. And, I didn't get any of that. I didn't get anybody mean or funny or anything. It was all legit.
Your
Well,
post
good.
must have been sad enough that nobody felt like trolling you.
They're like, "Oh, she's so ugly. Let's help her."
I don't believe that's the case at all.
I can't find anything I like.
Did you find something thanks to the post?
I haven't researched it. There was one brand that a lot of people kept mentioning over and over again, and actually, Susan Stout just texted me and had samples from Rodan Fields that she's going to let me try. But then there was one other brand. There's a couple brands I've already tried that they've mentioned a lot, but there's one brand in particular that I've never heard of before, and I was going to research it and Google it and see what it was all about.
Susan Stout. I haven't heard her name in a while. She has always been a loyal follower of the podcast, and she has been killing it. She dropped a ton of weight and was doing some kind of, she may be doing 50 marathons in 50 states. She's got some kind of crazy goal.
Nice.
So she got back on the horse. I knew she ran marathons years ago and then got away from them, and now she's back into them, or she was as of, 10 weeks ago.
That's awesome.
And so now she's on some kind of mission to accomplish something.
She's the one that remodeled our kitchen.
Yes, she
or
did.
drove up the plans for it.
She good folk.
You got anything else interesting?
I don't have anything else to talk about.
All right, folks.
That was dead airspace.
I'm going to wrap it up. I like the short podcast.
Yeah,
Unless y'all got something to talk
Well, I was
about.
going to ask a question. So this Disney Plus thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to put the money into it. I don't have enough time to watch TV right now anyway, but can you really see any Disney movie? Because I want to see like Little Mermaid and some other stuff.
They got they took them all out of the vault.
Okay, I was going to say, because I was
Unless
waiting
you want
for
to see
something
Song
to
of the
come out
South,
of the vault.
because they didn't put that one on there.
That one got stuck.
It's still
That one's stuck in the vault for a very, very
It's wedged
good
in the
reasons.
corner to keep the vault open.
right.
But yeah, so there was a couple things I was waiting to come out of the vault to purchase, and then
All the
Okay.
princess movies.
Like they actually have, so, typically like Netflix, how Netflix will have like, crime dramas or action films. They've got a section called Out of the Vault. And it's, I mean, my grandson has watched Aladdin like 14 times already in the week that we've had Disney Plus. So,
And how
So-
much is it a month?
$6.99. So is there a catch?
which
or
is
anything?
crazy.
No catch.
You can also, so for it's like $6.99 a month, or like $70 a year. But then for $12.99 a month, you can get Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu. So if you're paying for Hulu, that almost makes it worth.
Right.
That's not that much more
Yeah.
expensive than just Hulu alone to get Disney Plus and ESPN Plus also. Which I guess ABC must be a major stockholder in Hulu. Or
And
something.
you got all the Star Wars stuff. Sunday, I watched almost 3-hour documentary on the making
the
of
first
the
three
trilogy.
movies. Yeah, I haven't
Have
seen
you-
it. I haven't watched it yet. But
Oh man, I watched the whole thing yesterday, and I also watched a They have a Disney documentary called Imagineering,
yeah.
which talks about how their engineers and building Disneyland, and then
We watched that.
building.
I thought
there's
this
only
was
2
something-
episodes right now, but I'm hoping they're going to put some more episodes.
But
out.
it's got like all of the Pixar shorts in it, like the little 3 and 5 minute films,
Okay.
and I mean everything.
So are they going to have like a catch one day where stuff's going to go back in the vault, even on the Disney Plus thing that you can't get to?
I
I
don't
think
believe
the
it
idea
will.
is to add more things to it.
Okay.
So you still have some things that are out on Netflix that they
But
can't
because
play.
the contract hasn't
Yeah.
run out on them, but
So-
they won't renew with Netflix.
So when those run out, those will get added back, I'm sure.
It's interesting that Netflix, ran it for a while. Now people are kind of pulling away from Netflix. Like my show, The Office, is not going to be on Netflix starting in 2020.
Well, that part of that's Netflix, and part of that is
Are they ABC? Disney will probably put it on the.
I don't.
I think Disney
remember.
heard about our $9.99 a month unlimited programs.
did.
And was like, that's how we
They
need
were like,
to
we're
model our business. Just give everything away for that
right.
low price. And then they undercut us.
You think that if you can't afford $6.99 a month, you just or have a friend that can't afford it, you can just give them an email.
You think
and they'll give
Disney's going to let you do that? I don't think that Disney would allow.
Well, that's because they don't have as much money as we do. They can't afford it.
You don't get
Disney
to
can't afford to do it.
you don't get to email Walt at Disney.com.
Man, I just can't afford the $6.99. Oh well, that's fine. Here, let me give you a
I'm on
login.
the app.
Let me just log you in.
No problem.
Disney will make you a happier person.
Well, I might look into that then.
The ultimate solution is coming, and nobody is there yet. I think because it's all so new.
Well, this is
But
close to it.
Is it really?
If you think about it, and they've bought Disney spent all this time buying up all these properties, like just to do this. Like, I mean,
So they bought Marvel. I don't even know let's just say 10 years ago, whatever they bought Marvel, and but Fox had part of the rights to Marvel movies and Marvel shows, and so now Disney, just in the last like 18 months, bought part of Fox Media to regain control of those movies.
Wow.
Like it's kind of crazy. Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like pretty huge, and there's a lot of different aspects to it. But like right now, even though Disney owns X-Men, they can't show any X-Men characters in a Disney film because somebody else owns the movie rights for them. So like Deadpool goes out of their way to make fun of it. Like and it's not all X-Men characters. It's just like the top 25 X-Men characters that they sold the rights to. And so like Deadpool goes out of their way to like make fun of the fact that because Deadpool is Marvel, and like they make fun of the fact that X-Men can't be on Deadpool.
I didn't realize The Simpsons were Disney.
That's probably
is
part
that?
of like ABC. Like they bought it as part of
okay.
ABC or something like
Okay.
that. Like there's a lot of weird like dotted lines and stuff of like how they own stuff.
Okay.
Like National Geographic is on. They have a National Geographic section where they have all these animal movies.
Yeah,
and
apparently
documentaries and
ABC or
stuff.
Disney owns National Geographic Channel. Didn't even know that.
How much does it cost to have basic cable and say one movie channel a month?
Basic cable is like $5 or $10 a month or something like
That's
that.
it?
I don't think so.
I thought it was a lot more than
it's
that.
like $50 a month.
Not well. Let's define basic cable. For me, basic cable is local channels.
That's not
that's
cable.
That's
local
not cable.
channels.
That's just local. Local's free.
Cable is like
not free.
CNN and
Local's
ESPN
free.
and stuff.
Local's free if you got
Like
an
$3.9 and
antenna.
$12 and an
If you have an
antenna.
antenna, you can get.
But most of the TV stations in Memphis don't broadcast at high enough power.
We're not talking about broadcasting power. We're talking about whether it's free or not. If you have an antenna, then
If you
I
have a-
can't pick it
and
up.
I just said that
You
in a,
we
in
did
a
this.
highly
We
cut.
did this at the.
You got an antenna.
I wasn't going to say anything. Got an antenna.
He called himself out.
That just came out funny. That's not how I say antenna.
We did this at the river a few weeks ago, where you can go to Best Buy and buy a $70 antenna and hook it to your TV, and you can get local channels. It's like only 4 channels.
I did that.
So
And you still can't get NBC in Memphis because they don't broadcast at high enough power.
Is that to force somebody to get cable?
Yeah, because they're making enough money off of the, cable contracts and stuff like that.
The question that I'm getting at is I'm saying that I don't think anybody's gotten to the point to where I think it's cutting cable is still a difficult decision for people because they lose at least something. Like
it's not nearly as hard as it used to be.
You're right. But
You know-
they're not there. Nobody has that one solution that's like
the people that haven't cut the cable in my mind are the people who are also probably still paying for AOL dial-up and they don't realize it. Like they just see that $7 a month charge on their account. Like if you're paying for DirecTV, you're paying $100+ a month. If you're paying for Comcast and any significant package, you're probably paying $50 to $100 a
Yeah,
month.
I mean, we had like a $250.
yeah,
bill.
ours was like $220.
And so we just cut it all off.
So you can get
So-
Hulu, or you can get YouTube Live TV, or Sling TV. Like there's a
There's
number
so
of
many.
options.
Like we have the Roku's.
and that's if you don't want to
Yeah.
go a la carte and do like the Disney and the Netflix and the Prime and
That's what we did.
and
If
you can pay for
Hulu-
CBS separately now.
I mean,
and that's the other
Roku.
thing. I'm going to end up probably within 5 years. I'm going to end up paying more for all the a la carte streaming services than I was paying DirecTV. But it's because like Disney Plus,
But
they've
it'll be
got
better.
original content. Netflix has original content. Prime has original content. CBS, their streaming service, has original content that doesn't get broadcast. Like you have to be a member of the streaming service to get it. Like so that's how they're getting us to switch over. But I think you're right that ultimately there's going to come a point where cable cutting does get easier.
But there's a lot of stuff you can go get a $30 Roku and hook it up to your thing, and they've got a bunch of free stuff on there.
Yeah.
And there's a thing called Philo. It's like $1.99 a month that has like all kinds of channels on it.
PlayStation View is got television streaming. Like
we just do Prime, Netflix, and then I have Sling for sports packages. And the only time that I watch the sports package is football.
We have Roku too. And I have Hulu through Spotify.
Well, but Roku, we're just getting, I guess there, like Vaughn said, there is stuff
There's
on
stuff
Roku.
on Roku. Yeah.
I was going to say that Roku was
I used to have Apple TV, but I got rid of it when I married him.
Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
Like that's a new streaming service, and they've got original
I
content.
thought that was just a platform. I didn't realize
So
that was
there's Apple TV, which is the platform, but they just launched their own streaming service also called Apple TV Plus, and they've got original content that's available on there.
Somebody needs to have a plus.
And have it
That's
all
what I'm
on
saying.
one.
There needs to be somebody needs to just say you can pay $40 a month and you get all this.
Well, it's
stuff.
just licensing. Nobody can.
That's right.
But everybody wants you watching their shows on their service because then they're collecting all of the ad dollars. Otherwise, it's split up between, the provider and the streamer and all the other things, and it's just business.
Just business.
Just business.
Cost of running a business.
Congratulations.
Did
You
I
did
make
it.
it?
We
You
killed,
made it.
We killed the rest of the time.
Lift heavy, run long. Number 169.
In the books.
Boom.